What's up everyone, Terraquake here. Pokemon Heartgold has always been my all-time favorite game out of any of the Pokemon games, and as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to explain why Pokemon Heartgold is special to me. It's the game that really introduced me to Pokemon, and I still have the same save file that I did when I first played it. To make it easy, I'm going to split this video up into 5 sections, so without further ado, let's begin. The year was 2011. My dad and I were pulling up to our local GameStop because he always let me look around and see if there was a game that I liked. At this point, I only had a few Pokemon cards lying around and I didn't know much about the actual games. However, the Christmas before was when I got my very own DS, and I was looking for a cool game to get. So, as I was walking around the store, Pokemon Heart Gold caught my eyes. It just had that gold background with Ho-Oh flying on the cover, and it looked so cool. My dad let me get it, and as soon as I got home, I immediately started to play it. Once I got through the beginning tutorial stuff, I felt like an adventurer. Being able to explore different routes and catch as many Pokemon as I wanted to just intrigued me so much, and I quickly fell in love with the game. Like I said earlier, I still have the same save file as I did in 2011. Anytime I load up that save file, it brings me back to the good old days with my awful nicknames, like calling for Alligator, Pidgeot, Birdie, and so on. Even though they had terrible nicknames, I went through the entire game with my team that I switched up here and there, and I didn't have too many challenges. Until I realized that you can battle Red. I tried so many times to beat him, but I just couldn't. But my friend who was really good at Pokemon ended up beating him for me. And I don't know, even though I didn't beat Red myself, it was so satisfying to know that I finally beat the game. Looking back on it though, I really wish I was smart enough to actually grind myself so I could beat Red, because you don't find many challenges like that in these newer games. It was also sort of sad that my journey came to an end, but that's why I'm never deleting that save file, because it just brings back so many great memories. The atmosphere and environment of the Johto region is just unbeatable. Unlike games like Pokemon Sword and Shield where the weather randomly changes, the Johto region has a nice flow that makes sense and it adds to the adventurous feel of the game. There's also a lot of diversity between the towns and cities. You start in a nice calm town known as New Bark Town, and then you travel to cultural cities like Violet and Ecruteak, beachy cities like Olivine and Cianwood, or small, quiet towns like Azalea or Blackthorn. Of course, I really like the environment of the Johto region because of nostalgia as well. Oh man, it just seems like a region where I'd want to live. The storyline in the Johto games might not be the best storyline ever, but in my opinion, it's still great. Sure, it's just Team Rocket trying to revive themselves after failing in the Kanto region, but there's so much background information that you learn throughout the story. Like how Silver is Giovanni's son, and he doesn't want to follow in his dad's footsteps. I also like how there's a lot of character development between the Kanto and Johto region. For example, Koga becomes a member of the Elite Four, and he lets J9 take over his gym. Lance takes a step up by becoming the champion of the Johto region, and I also like that he has a connection with Claire. Now, after you beat the main part of the game, we all know that you can travel to the Kanto region, and this is one of my favorite parts about the Johto games. Once you get to the Kanto region, you're just known as this Johto boy. Everyone thinks that you're overrated. That's until you defeat all of the gyms and take on Red. He's probably one of the best final bosses since it's kind of like a rivalry between you, the player, and Red. I think it's just the perfect way to round off an amazing game. As you guys know, Pokemon Heart Gold was a part of Generation 4, which is my favorite generation of Pokemon. There are so many new evolutions added and cool looking Pokemon in these games, it was just great. On my original team, I had a Rhyperior, which is my first time ever doing a trade evolution, and it was a beast. Yeah, nostalgia comes into play once again, but hey, what can you do? Moving on to the personalities of characters, there's a lot of notable ones in Pokemon Heart Gold. First, Silver is probably one of the most interesting characters. He starts as a mean, nasty type of guy by stealing one of Professor Elm's Pokemon and thinking that he will be the best trainer in the world. Over time though, he realizes that it's not just about the toughest Pokemon, and he listens to what Lance tells him. Professor Elm is a goofy yet curious guy, and the gym leaders also have great personalities. My favorite would have to be Price. He doesn't play a huge role in the games themselves, but I like his team of ice types, and he's that typical old wise man. Of course, there's also the cool theory that Price is Professor Willow from Pokemon Go, and I think that's a really cool theory. All in all though, the characters in Pokemon Heartgold are great. The last section that I'll be including in this video is the music. It might not be the best music out of all of the Pokemon games, but it's still freaking amazing. Whether you're walking on Route 47, heading into the deep depths of the ice path, taking on the one and only Lance, or battling the Kanto gym leaders. Man, does that music rock. Anyways, the music in Pokemon Heartgold is just the perfect icing on the cake for my all-time favorite Pokemon game. So, there you have it. Those are the reasons why Pokemon Heartgold is the best Pokemon game in my opinion. All of these sections do connect back to nostalgia because, come on, if it's your first Pokemon game you've ever played, then you're guaranteed to like it. For now though, if you guys enjoyed, then drop a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss my next upload. And until next time, deuces.